Militancy in the Niger Delta is the Nigerian government's most recent headache. Since February this year, the group known as the Niger Delta Avengers have caused a major setback to Nigeria's economy. It's responsible for a series of attacks on oil installations in the Niger Delta region, activities which has brought the country's output from over 2 million barrels per day to near 1 million barrels per day. Last week, the government said it had initiated negotiations with the militants and that talks could be concluded this week. But that claim was swiftly dismissed by the militants. The group that earlier rejected talks made a U-turn, and the Avengers said they will negotiate but set stringent conditions. They want an independent mediator, new concessions from government, and warned government against negotiating with imposters. A warning security experts think government must take seriously.
The warning is not out of place because there are a lot of people that want to take advantage of the situation to benefit for themselves, and not for the region, as it might seem. So the warning is not out of place. All it takes is for the government to ensure that stakeholder analysis is properly done to enable them determine the key stakeholders in this scenario and then engage the stakeholders. Yeah, like I said earlier, there are people who always want to take advantage of situations like this, and that was why, we had failures in previous attempts to negotiate in other areas, other conflict situations.
In the meantime, the group is maintaining their stand on non-repair of vandalized installations and threatening to start targeting lives. Until last week, the government had maintained a hardline stand against the militants. President Muhammadu Buhari ordered a security beef-up in the Delta region and warned vandals would be treated like terrorists. But the group went on blowing up crude export lines with minimum deterrence. And Darlington thinks coercion may not achieve much with the militants.
I think they are serious and they should be taken seriously, going by the kind of things we've seen so far. They've been able to cause enormous destruction, not just to the pipelines and so on, but to the nation, generally. And so they should be taken seriously. These are people who know the Niger Delta very well, the creeks, and they know where the pipelines pass and all that. So even if you deploy the forces there, they cannot be everywhere.
There had been relative calm in the region until President Muhammadu Buhari suspended security contracts handled by ex-militants to guard oil facilities there. The government also slashed stipends to former militants who had embraced an amnesty deal. Crude oil accounts for 70% of Nigeria's export revenue, all of which is gotten from the Niger Delta. The people have been agitating for a share of oil revenue for years with little effect. Talks are expected to steer towards greater control of oil blocks by communities in the Delta region and addressing the environmental damages caused so far. Kelechi, Emekalam, CCTV, Abuja, Nigeria.
Let's discuss this further. Joining us live from Lagos is Liboris Oshoma. He's the head attorney at Liboris Oshoma Chambers. Liboris, thanks for joining us. Why is dialogue between the Nigerian government and the militants in the Niger Delta so critical?
Because if you look at the issues, government had never really been sincere with issues like this. Even the last attempt, there were dialogues, there were initiative to ensure that the boys laid down arms. But on the part of government, what basically happened was after the boys laid down arms, a few were trained, some were awarded contracts, and a few of them were massively enriched, those that were close to the government of the day. And then the development of the region, which was the key issues, why the boys were agitated in the first place, was neglected. And then degradation continues. Spillages that happened in the region, compensations were not paid. It took communities going to court outside the jurisdiction of the country to get compensations to be paid. And then even the cleanup that the current government started recently, were all attempts. And so with that, and then coming also with the recent government decisions to cut off the amnesty program and then also to cancel the contract awarded to some persons, you know, and so that also, you know, agitated, you know, some of these boys, coupled with the fact that, you know, with Boko Haram in the Northeast and the government attempt at creating a Northeast Development Commission, the boys felt, you know, the country being a mono-economic country, where resources is coming from, it's neglected, and even the little that had been done for them, government is cancelling it, and then the same government is attempting to clean up the Northeast. So, you know, some of them felt short-changed. That was why.
So what are the key grievances? What are the key grievances of the community living in the Niger Delta, and are these legally recognizable?
Basically, all of these issues, I think, should probably have been handled, you know, in a more professional manner than the attitude and the way the Avengers went about it, and then the initial positions or position of the government, and then issue of negotiating with Avengers. Who are the members of Niger Delta Avengers, and then there are people also who have capacity to carry arms who are not yet carrying arms. And then if you negotiate with this group today, what's the guarantee that you will not, another group will not emerge and then, you know, call for negotiations tomorrow? That's why I think the best approach should be, you know, a holistic approach, you know, like a peace commission, a stakeholders peace commission for everybody, where everybody can come, you know, air their grievances and then, you know, say their mind. And then government should be also have a holistic approach to addressing the infrastructural deficiencies in the region. Until that is done, just negotiating with the group today and giving them stipends will not, you know, solve the problems.
All right, Liboros Oshioma, live for us here in Lagos. Many thanks.